Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be recording a how to get my eyebrows tutorial. I know I've been prolonging this process. I've been trying to figure out my favorite way that I do my eyebrows so I can show you guys that. And I found just that I've been testing them out and I really found a way that I enjoy. And that I love how my eyebrows come out when I do it this way. So that's what I'm going to be showing you in this video. So if you're interested in watching that, then just stay tuned. Okay, so to start off, you can see that I don't really have any makeup on. Well, I don't have any makeup on. I haven't filled in my eyebrows or anything. I do thread my eyebrows about once every month, and then in those weeks in between I'll just like pluck them and cut them on my own, just to maintain them until I go ahead and get my eyebrows done again. Sometimes I wait between like a month to a month and a half before I get my eyebrows threaded again, only because I just like letting my eyebrows grow out so that they're not too thin. But to each their own. If you want to get your eyebrows done more, that's fine. As you can see, my eyebrows are pretty thick, so I don't have much to fill in, but I do shape them a little bit more and make them a little bit more sharp. My favorite eyebrow is this one because it has a better shape to it. This one I feel like is a little bit too curved, but whatever. Dipbrow pomade works just well. Anyways, okay, so let's get on to it. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to be taking my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Pomade in the color dark brown. And I'm also going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dual Brush. One side is the angled brush for the brows, and the other side is the spoolie to comb out the brows. So when I always start off, I always comb out my brows first. Then I dip the angled side of the brush into a little bit of the pomade, and I start with a little bit of product first. You'll notice that I start off outlining the top of my eyebrows first. So I give the top of my eyebrows a shape. You'll also notice that I start towards the middle and the end of my eyebrow. I always skip the first third, and that is because I never want to put too much product in that area. So I always start like with the middle towards the end of my eyebrow, and I'll start going in little small strokes, and that is to mimic the looks of the hair. So instead of doing like a big stroke, I'll do multiple little tiny strokes to get the effect of hair. And then once I'm done with the outer half, then I start with the inside. Now when I start with the inside, with the inside of my brow, I always start with the bottom. So I'm going to outline the bottom half of my brow and give that some shape. And then, like I said earlier, I'm just going to fill in, taking small strokes. I do occasionally take the spoolie and brush that out. I never want to just put on a bunch of product and not brush it out with the spoolie, because then you will be able to notice that it's product and it's not actual hairs. The whole point of the spoolie is so that it kind of like feathers out and makes it mimic the look of natural hair. So that's what the spoolie does. So I always, in between strokes, I always go through with the spoolie. So like I said earlier, taking small strokes is the best way to go. It also prevents you from adding too much product. So that's also why I start with the end of my eyebrows and then gradually progress into the front of my brows. Again, constantly putting the spoolie through to make sure not too much product is accumulated in one area and it's spread out throughout. Okay, so now for the front of my brows, you'll see how I corner the front of my brows. Some people don't touch the front of their brows at all, like the first part. They don't touch it at all because they want it to look natural. However, I feel if I just leave it too empty, it looks crazy because the front of my brows are pretty sparse and then it gets thicker throughout. So I always fill in the front of my brows as well. And then I give my brows a longer tail because my brows end not too short, a little bit short. So I always extend the tail just a little bit. And now here is my favorite trick. Go in with some of your favorite concealer. This is the Maybelline FitMe in the number 20. Go in with your favorite concealer and also take a really small brush. I'm using the Luxie 211 brush, which is a concealer brush, and I just dip the tip of the brush into some concealer and I carve out my brows. Now this is amazing. This trick is definitely my favorite one. If you skip this step, you'll notice what a difference it really does make, only because if you make a mistake while filling in your eyebrows, you make them too thick, you put a little bit too much product, or you go outside of your eyebrow lines, you can always go right back in with some concealer and cover that right up. It is so amazing. This makes your eyebrows so sharp and so crisp. I wish I knew this trick earlier, but this is definitely the trick if I had a trick, because I know a lot of people do this, but this, I would have to say, is my trick to these amazing brows. And then as you see, once I carve out my entire brow, I'm going to go ahead and fade out that concealer with my beauty blender. I also use my finger sometimes just to blend out the concealer in this hard to reach places. So yeah. Okay, so like I said with the concealer, dip a little brush into your favorite concealer and create a boundary across your whole entire brow. So literally cage in your eyebrow with some concealer. And while you're caging it in, make sure that you're fixing it to the shape that you like. Make sure that you're covering any mistakes if you made any. And yeah, because this is the final step. This is just what's going to create that really, really, really sharp, perfect eyebrow. So take your time with this step. Really make sure that you're getting all the corners, all the little mistakes if you made any. And then, like I said, blend it out with your finger, beauty blender, or the brush if it doesn't have too much product. And then yeah, that is definitely the most important trick. So do not forget this step. I do want to apologize for my eyebrow not completely being in the frame. I know you can still kind of see what I'm doing. However, I do apologize because it tends to happen a lot. I do need to work on my angles just a little bit more. But yeah, I do apologize. To finish off my eyebrows, I'm just going in with some Chella eyebrow defining gel. And what it does is just define your eyebrows a little bit more and make sure that they won't go anywhere. Okay guys, so that is the completed and finished product. This is how I get my eyebrows. It's super easy. It only consists of 3 products: the Dipbrow pomade, some of your favorite concealer, and then the Chella eyebrow defining gel. Super easy, super quick, super natural. I always get compliments on my eyebrows, and everyone always asks me how I get them. What's my trick? I think the biggest trick would be the concealer, because even if you're not good at outlining your eyebrows and say you mess up a little bit, the concealer will go right over it. It's kind of like an eraser in a way, because you can really carve out the shape of your eyebrows. So say if you do your eyebrow, you fill it in a little bit too thick, you put a little bit too much pomade, or it gets out of like your boundaries or whatever, take this little take a little tiny brush. The one that I'm using is the Luxie 211 concealer brush. But yeah, take a little bit of this with some concealer, put it right under, or like just carve out an outline your eyebrow, and you will be so amazed with the outcome, because it really, really, really makes such a big difference. So if there's one important thing that I have to stress about eyebrows, would be some concealer, because that will change your eyebrows for the better. I wish I knew that earlier, but yeah, that is how I got my eyebrows. I hope that was super easy and just super easy for you to follow. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you want any more tutorials, any more how-tos, how do I contour, how do I whatever, if you have any more requests, feel free to comment down below. Again, I want to make videos that everyone would like to see. So if you have a request, just let me know and I'll go ahead and record that for you. Anyways, thank you guys so much again for tuning in. Don't forget to check out my Snapchat and Instagram. Again, that is Astralaga5, and that will be linked down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Mwah. Love you.